Bucks at 2.
That makes sense.
Chiefs. Ooh, and then 2 teams on the rise with high draft picks. The Bears and the Patriots. Nick, do you love Mike Evans on the Chiefs?
No, I don't want him on the Chiefs.
Wait,
Out of loyalty
you
to
don't
the
want
Bake
Mike
Show?
Evans?
Well, listen, if he wanted to come play for $5 million, sure. But Mike Evans is too good to take anything like that type of contract. I think Mike Evans is going to cash in one more time to a big degree. And signing 30-year-old wide receivers entering year 11 is not the way the Chiefs operate. And I understand that all this season, in order to make football discussions work, we pretended the Chiefs hadn't just won the Super Bowl with a nondescript receiving corps. And now all offseason, in order to make football discussions work, we're going to have to pretend they haven't won back-to-back Super Bowls with nondescript receiving corps. But even if they have the money, which they can create because they can move Patrick's money. And this is where I'm going to, I understand it was my 2023 resolution. I might bring it back for 2024, be less humble. It's going to sound arrogant on behalf of the Chiefs. When you draft as well as the Chiefs have, you need the money to keep those guys. Creed Humphrey is about to get one of the biggest center contracts ever. Trey Smith is about to get a contract. L'Jarius Sneed, one of their draft picks. They might lose him because he's going to get a top of the market deal. Trent McDuffie is going to, a year from now, need a top of the market deal. They have drafted so well that these young players, they need the money for their second contracts. And so, guys, I would be looking at, because I think they're going to cut MVS. Super Bowl champ, 2 times over, great playoff performer, saves him $12 million. So a guy like Rashid Shaheed, Gabe Davis, someone like that is going to be inexpensive on maybe a prove-it deal. But Mike Evans at $25+ million a year, it's just not, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
No, I hear you. And I like what you said about Gabe Davis, Shaheed, because those guys, I think, with Mahomes, might become superstars. And that's what they need, because I know you like, and I like Rashee Rice, but he's more underneath. He can run after the catch. I would love to see them get a deep threat. And obviously, they can win the Super Bowl if they don't improve the receiving corps. I mean, we don't know that they will, but they can. They've done it the last 2 years. Juju was good, but, he's not a great receiver. So you can't say they have to, but you guys know since the Super Bowl, I've been saying I want to see them go get a great receiver. And maybe one of those young guys, I get it. I like T. Higgins. He's only 25. Evans will be 31 in August.
He's going to get a monster deal.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And that's why if they get one of the 2 you mentioned, I'm fine with it. But if I were them, I am looking for a deep threat receiver. Here's why. Not just to win it. And I get it. You win it, it doesn't matter. But I want to maximize Patrick Mahomes. We can still have, there's no law that you can't have a great defense and a great offense. And Mahomes carried them because of his greatness. They won it with him. But imagine, why can't you have the great defense and he's throwing for 315 yards a game? So I want them, I like the 2 names you mentioned because they won't be too expensive. So I want them to go get a deep threat receiver who can catch.
Did you see this Warren Sharp tweet? I thought it was quite interesting. This is average length of touchdown pass from Mahomes. 2019.
There you go.
It was 17 yards, then 13, 8.5, 4.5, and last year just under 4. So I thought it was laid out like that. I thought it was a pretty sharp contrast from 17 down to 4. Do you think this is the new normal? This is just what we do.
So it should be noted that 2021, when it was all the way down to 8.5, they still had Tyreek Hill. And 2022, when it was barely above this year, he won league MVP and they were the highest scoring team. That, in my opinion, was actually in reference to how teams changed how they're defending the Chiefs.
Got you.
Teams, his first 2 years, didn't think he could keep it up.
Right.
They were like, you know what? We're not gonna give you all the underneath. You're gonna have to prove to us you're just gonna hit us over the head, over the top again and again. And he did. And so then they changed, and the Chiefs went through that brief struggle in 2021 and then adjusted. This year, obviously, the offense didn't work the way they wanted it to for large portions of the season. but you got through the growing pains to the other side of it. And I think Rashee Rice is going to be the Chiefs' #1 receiver. I don't think he is like the deep threat Jamar Chase type. I understand that. But I think he is a #1. I think they're going to draft a guy. So you have Rashee Rice, you have a rookie. I bet they bring back McCole Hardman, Justin Watson, who has been steady. I know you don't love that he went to Penn, but he's been steady. And then one veteran in the MVS role. That's your receiving core, not even to mention they have Tony coming back if he gets his head on straight. So, like, that's it. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to use their resources going after Evans, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, who are the three big wide receivers on the market. I just don't see it.
Has even gotten back to the Super Bowl after winning back-to-back, and a third of the teams have missed the playoffs altogether. So you kicked around this idea, should the Chiefs try to go all in, kind of put a championship on the credit card to try to go for the three-peat?
So can I put it to you for a moment? You're a Patriots fan. You guys won 6 titles. Would you trade the Seattle and the last Rams one?
Yes.
For the undefeated season?
100%. We barely deserve Seattle. I mean,
right. So the Atlanta one I know is special.
We won
28-3,
19
and the first but
yes.
So that's the argument is, should you chase immortality at the expense of long term? So my answer, you guys are going to love it, is a bit of both in this regard. I would overpay because they won. I would do basically whatever it takes to bring back Chris.
Yes.
I think Chris Jones, even if it's not financially prudent at his age, that position to pay, I would do whatever it takes to bring him back. But the other stuff you can do, trading a first-round pick for a veteran, restructuring a bunch of deals to create temporary cap space. The reason I don't like that is I still think the best Chiefs team of my life didn't win the Super Bowl. I think it was the team that was going for the repeat. They were 14 in 2020. They were 14-1 when Mahomes played. Mahomes had 40 touchdowns, 6 picks. He had 5,000 total yards. They blew out Buffalo in the AFC title game. Right. And you got to the Super Bowl, 4 of your starting offensive linemen were hurt. You couldn't compete. Point being, you can go all in, and because it's single elimination and football, have nothing to show for it.
Right.
And so that would be you don't want to. So I would bring back Chris Jones almost no matter what. Other than that, I would treat it like a normal year because they were able to win the Super Bowl during a retool and a down year. So it's not like they have to move all their chips in the middle of the table to be able to win it again.
I would go all in, and I definitely want to bring back Chris Jones. But like you said, this is immortality, all right, that you're chasing. And here's the thing, Nick. Let's say they go all in and don't win it. The window ain't closed. I mean, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes in his prime, the window is wide open, and this year is the prime example. So even if they go all in, it doesn't work, they're going to be right there contending next year, the following year. Here's the argument for bringing in a big name at some position, or if it were a receiver or whatever. You send the message. Now, we know they said at the parade they're going for 3 in a row. Obviously, Mahomes is motivated. But some of these other guys, winning another championship for them, it's a legacy definer for Mahomes, Andy Reid, maybe even a Chris Jones, But for most guys, it's not. We don't know how many Super Bowls various positions, you know what I mean? So you have to do something to kind of send them a message that, hey, we're not relaxing. We are going for it. And if you bring in a big name free agent, it's like, oh, wow, we just won the last 2 Super Bowls and we're upgrading. Yeah. We're trying to win it. So that's the argument for, making a big splash.
I wonder, we don't have the list. I wonder if you have anybody off the top of your head that will give the Chiefs a discount, the Super Bowl ring discount.
So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the position that they need, because the wide receiver, the wide receivers that are out there are, other than Mike Evans, guys going for their first big payday. Those guys never, never give a discount. What typically those guys end up being are guys who aren't pending free agents, but high salaried guys who are about to be cut in the next 60 days. You know what I mean? Guys that teams look at them and say, all right, you're scheduled to make $12 million. It doesn't make sense for us. And then they're like, you know what? I still have $6 million coming from that team that cut me.
Yeah.
I'll go there. But one of the secrets to how the Chiefs, and I mentioned this on our parade coverage that obviously got cut short. Last year, the Chiefs became the second team ever to win a Super Bowl with the quarterback having a top 5 cap hit. The Giants in 2011 were the other. This year, they became the first team ever to win a Super Bowl with the quarterback having the biggest cap hit in the NFL. Why are they able to do it? Because they have literally less than $500,000 of dead money on their books for next season, and because they have maybe one bad contract, a contract like Jawan Taylor, the right tackle, who again they won the Super Bowl and he played well in the postseason, but the penalties he's highly
let him
paid.
get away with some
It is
holes.
okay.
That's what I see.
Yeah, that's what you see on the internet. It is. You go up and down the list of these teams that have gone all in over the last few years. They are littered with contracts they regret, dead money from J.C. Jackson, having to, potentially cut Joey Bosa, and that's just the Chargers. So the Bills are in a disastrous situation with Von Miller. They don't know what they're going to do there. So the Chiefs have been very judicious about that. I don't think that's going to change.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.